If you're watching this, can we all agree that I can spot a baddie when I see one? And that unlike Kim Kardashian's momager situation, my child doesn't speak to me right now, but I would never ever let my daughters blast themselves on social media. She wants to go out in a bar like this to Las Vegas for her 21st birthday, then this picture is going to get used to teach y'all that I'm not jealous of nothing. Not only am I 48 and still look just like this, now it took some work to get back here after everything that's been done to me. That's a female. I'm a female. That's a female skull. That's a female body of a 48-year-old woman with no surgery other than breast implants. And these are all transformers. Every single one of them. And they're not trying to hide it. All of them. It's done inside the womb or when they're very young. That's a male skull. This is a male skull. This is a male skull. That's a female skull, and that's a male skull. Do you see it now? That's a female skull. Female skull. Female skull. She has the male skull. Even Haystack. That's the female. That's the male. This is an X chromosome. I modeled for her. Who's this? The real Donald Trump died in 1989. Moose, Jill, all the things. Says he died in 1989. This is what happens at the real border. That's a car full of meth. You can't come across the border with drugs in the car. Not the real border, which looks like this. Who are the real Native Americans? My mom's O positive and I'm O negative. So what's up? RH null. Everything you think you know is a lie. That's Candace Owens. That's a male. That's Jay-Z. That's a woman. This is Meta. 1, 2. How many are there? I don't even know. Looks a lot like Quantico to me. This is my opinion and I'm entitled to it. If you want to start this spiritual detox with me and go chemical free so that you have the clarity that I have, these are some products that I suggest. I'm looking for anybody that can help me bring this type of stuff in our own communities to make it ourselves. I also am going to attach the website that I order the gummies from. That's the most disturbing thing of it all. How are you sitting in prison for something that they tried to patent? Park Davis, the Sacklers, everybody. I know y'all got phones in there. Use your fucking AI chatbot situation and Google every single one of these words prior to 1933. What did they mean? Because poison just was a suggestion that was going to knock your ass out. It's now available on the Farm Bill. That's a little insane that they are in prison for something you can order online now. Shout out to Alda Online. They are good people. FedMindy 100.
Y'all don't find it weird that the president of the United States, Donald Trump, just said that this Christmas that we just had is the last Christmas that we will ever have? Y'all don't find that strange?
Folks, enjoy what may be your last Christmas.
It's the fact that he can just say that out loud and no one is raising questions on what he means by this being our last Christmas. But with the things that are going on in this world, with the fact that we have just went into a war with Iran once again to help Israel. It's always Israel. I just don't understand. The writing's on the wall on what they are trying to do. Also, there was some video when somebody asked their Alexa how many days until next Christmas, and then Alexa was just like, there won't be a next Christmas. And so it's just ironic that he's saying that there will not be a Christmas ever again. This may be our last Christmas. Is he saying that we're going to go to war? Is he saying that things are about to change dramatically for us? Is it this big spiritual thing that's going to happen? Is the world going to end in 2026?
Well, breaking fuck the news. Israeli cybersecurity co-founder says it's time to limit the First Amendment. It's time for the government to take full control over social media and what people say on social media. And guess what? I got the video of it because it was live, broadcasted live.
It's difficult to hear, but it's time to limit the First Amendment in order to protect it. And quickly before it's too late.
What do you mean?
I mean that we need to control the platforms, all the social platforms. We need to stack rank the authenticity of every person that expresses themselves online and take control over what they are saying based on that ranking.
The government.
The government should
control the social media.
yeah.
The government should have full and utter control of social media. And the First Amendment should be limited. Hell, the United States of America.
First of all, David's description of what you can do with metadata, and quoting a mutual friend, Stuart Baker, is absolutely correct. Okay, we kill people based on metadata, but that's not what we do with this metadata.
This Christmas, hundreds of billionaires have asked Santa Claus for global domination. And the heartbreaking truth is, some of them will be left behind.
They've done everything right. They've doubled our health insurance. They've fractured our attention span and divided our communities. They've hiked our taxes and used it to destroy innocent people. And yet, when they look under their tree this Christmas, they're not going to find the complete, unfettered power that they so rightfully deserve.
So this Christmas, don't think about yourself. Don't think about your family.
You don't need a house.
You don't need a livable wage.
You don't need clean air.
Children don't need a bright future.
Or their innocence.
Or even basic human rights. We need to focus on what the billionaires need.
So if you'd like to give back this Christmas, put your trust into the establishment narrative.
Stop questioning things. Stop supporting small businesses.
That money could be funneled into mega corporations. So this Christmas, do your part
to make sure that there's no billionaire left behind.
The deeper you go, the more disturbing it gets. The lowest levels are the ones you wish you could forget. Experiments accomplished with alien technology, pretending to be gods without care or apologies. Level 6 has a name that the employees call. It's what it feels like, Nightmare Hall. It is here where you'll find humanoids with numerous limbs, looking octopus-like but made out of sins. There's also hybrid entities with features Homo sapien. Their skin is made of scales, so they look to be reptilian. Human-like creatures in both cages and in vats contain people with wings that look like bats. The deeper you go, the more disturbing it gets. The lowest levels are the ones you wish you could forget. Experiments accomplished with alien technology, pretending to be gods without care or apologies. The lowest level is where they keep the most disturbing operations, where humans lie in cages.
Highly advanced intelligences could manipulate human awareness on a global scale. They could implant thoughts, modify emotions, alter perceptions, and influence decisions without ever revealing their presence. This would mean that humanity's entire psychological landscape might be artificially constructed. Our beliefs about reality our emotional responses to events, our collective decision-making processes could all be the products of systematic mental manipulation conducted by entities whose goals remain hidden. We think we're responding to natural circumstances and making rational choices, but we might actually be performing according to behavioral modifications that serve alien purposes. The consciousness wormholes detected during the Atlas remote viewing session could represent pathways through which such manipulation occurs. If consciousness is not confined to individual brains, but exists as a field that connects all aware beings, then entities with advanced understanding of this field could access human minds remotely, inserting thoughts and perceptions that feel completely natural but actually originate from external sources. Consider the implications for everything we think we know about human history and current events. What if the major religious traditions weren't inspired by divine revelation, but by alien entities establishing psychological control systems? What if the scientific revolution wasn't a natural intellectual development, but a carefully managed process designed to advance human technology towards specific goals? What if the current political chaos and social fragmentation aren't the results of natural cultural evolution, but the consequences of deliberate psychological warfare designed to prevent effective resistance to alien agendas? The timeline is accelerating towards some kind of resolution. Global military forces are mobilizing for conflicts that officials can't clearly explain. Emergency systems are being tested as if massive disruptions are anticipated. Medical facilities are preparing for casualties on scales that suggest expectations of unprecedented disasters. Meanwhile, Comet Atlas continues its approach, carrying entities whose intentions remote viewers describe with terms like demonic possession and consciousness attack. What if the approaching revelation isn't first contact, but the dropping of a pretense that has been maintained for decades? What if alien entities decide that covert operations are no longer sufficient and that direct control is now necessary? The underground installations could transform from hidden bases into command centers for openly administered occupation. The lunar facilities could reveal themselves as the headquarters for a colonial administration that has been managing Earth as a subsidiary planet. The resistance capabilities that humanity could mount against such a revelation would be severely limited. Our military forces are designed to fight terrestrial conflicts against adversaries who operate according to familiar physical principles. Our political institutions assume that decision-makers are human beings motivated by recognizable interests. Our psychological defenses evolve to protect against threats that originate within the natural environment of Earth. We have no established protocols for dealing with entities whose technological capabilities allow them to manipulate matter and energy according to principles we don't understand. We have no diplomatic frameworks for negotiating with intelligences whose goals operate on timescales that span millennia. Most critically, we have no mental defenses against consciousness manipulation techniques that could turn our own awareness against us. The remote viewing evidence suggests that such techniques are already being deployed. The fact that trained viewers can perceive alien activities despite obvious attempts at concealment indicates that the entities involved either can't completely hide their presence or choose not to for reasons that serve their purposes. They might want certain humans to become aware of their operations as part of a gradual disclosure process designed to condition us for eventual revelation. What if the current global crisis represents the final phase of such conditioning? Economic instability, political polarization, environmental degradation, and social fragmentation could all be psychological pressure tactics designed to make human populations desperate enough to accept external management. When civilization appears to be collapsing and traditional institutions seem incapable of providing solutions, people become willing to embrace alternatives that they would normally reject. The entities aboard Comet Atlas might be arriving not as conquerors but as saviors, offering technological solutions to problems that their own covert operations helped create. They could present themselves as benevolent administrators who have been monitoring Earth for our own protection, reluctantly revealing themselves because human mismanagement has reached critical levels that threaten planetary stability. Such a scenario would be far more effective than military conquest because it would secure human cooperation rather than resistance.
Y'all want to hear some shit to really blow y'all's mind this morning? So, as a side hustle, I dig graves. and graveyards and cemeteries across Bowling Green and surrounding counties. Something didn't set right with me today. As I was digging, the guy that's the director of the graveyard walked up to me. And he was like, we need to lift that casket up to get it even. So we put it on the tally and brought it back up. When we brought it back up, it come off even in a way, but it was crooked in the corner. So he's like, we got to lift it. So I lifted it, me and him together. But the weirdest thing was, it was really light. Like, extremely light. Like, and I'm not a big dude. So I was like, I told him, I was like, why is that so light? He was like, don't ask questions that you ain't ready for. Y'all, I'm freaked out. What are they doing with these bodies?
So, y'all, this is absolutely crazy. So, y'all, why this 18-year-old girl went on an interview in Detroit at Cracker Barrel. So, after the interview, she calls her mother and tell her mother now she don't think the interview went too good. And she said that the man that was interviewing her was asking her some weird questions. He asked her if she was an organ donor, and he asked her about the COVID shot. So she was like, after she told her mother she was going to use the bathroom and get back on the road because she had to travel like 33 miles, I think it was. So she went in the bathroom and never came back out. So the police, they looked at the video, the footage, and said that she went in the bathroom and never came back out. So they've been looking for her. So they end up stopping a meat truck in Oklahoma, the Oklahoma Police Department. They done stopped this truck. So the man was like, he was a 50-year-old man. He said he was just delivering the meat to a meat packing plant that supplies for McDonald's. So the police, because he had a busted tail light, that was the reason they pulled him over. So they done opened the meat truck up and then found the girl. She is alive, but she was disoriented. She said all she remember is that she went in the bathroom to wash her hands and everything went dark. So the man is like, he didn't know that she was back there. All he was doing is just delivering the meat to the meat packing plant. You know what I'm saying? Because they get the meat together for McDonald's. But why would they be asking her about if she's an organ donor? And then who just what's going on? We all know what's going on, y'all. Stay safe.
We're not cannibals. So what we do is we take those because we can make some shekels and we give them to the slaughterhouses. And those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger. And that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's your problem. But you goyim out there, you never teach yourself. You don't self-teach. You're always looking for somebody else to do it for you. So you wind up being schleppers all your life.
Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney lab. Yes, but how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch? Right. Well, we're going to find out exactly how it's done right now because joining us live from the Disney lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim. So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineer their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing for photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in.
That is simply amazing. Now, how long does it take to actually create a star from scratch?
Well, not very long at all. We use the exact same DNA structure for all of our stars, and then we simply tweak minor details like hair color or skin tone.
Right, yeah, we do have some footage here of some of the well-known creations. things that have come out of your lab. Let's take a look.
Yes, well, that's model 6831-A, publicly known as Mitchell Musso, standard male base with type 3 skin pigmentation.
Wow.
And that's model 6831-B. We give him slightly thicker eyebrows and type 5 skin.
Well, so it's sort of like putting a puzzle together then.
Exactly.
Okay.
What if I told you all the presidents, and I mean all of them, were still alive? But I wasn't going to just speculate on it. I was going to prove it. Here's Teddy Roosevelt. Here's Robin Williams. And that's both of their wives. And here's Andrew Jackson and his wife. And, well, what if we paired a younger picture with Miss Jackson with Miss Maxwell? Do you think that they might just fit pretty well down to the lips, the nose, and eye placement? And what if this goes back to our very first president and his wife, Martha? Funny how he looks a little more feminine than her. And a subscriber, Samantha, pointed out the resemblance of Glenn Close and George Washington. Funny, Glenn, especially spelled like Glenn Close, Glenn. It's a funny name for a girl. You want to see something even funnier? Here's Glenn Close's husband. And, well, do you recognize him? How about now? That's Martha Washington. Glenn Close's husband, Martha Washington. And I'm going to stop after this one for a second. Here's the 25th president, William McKinley, and I couldn't help but notice how identical he looked to Dumb and Dumber star Jeff Daniels. Oh, and the first time I ever happened to see this, they started talking about Dumb and Dumber randomly on the TV in the very first second. And you know what's even funnier than that is how he's got a little mark right there. Good old President McKinley. And oh, look at that. So does Jeff Daniels. I did a 10-minute video on this that I'm testing out for the subscribers of mine, because if anything's going to get censored and shut down and give me account bans and strikes and warnings, it's this one. And let me tell you what that whole video is about. It's how they're not human. Here's Alec Baldwin and President Fillmore. And I say they're not human, and they tell us what they are. Just like the Book of Enoch says, fallen angels are referred to as stars. Go watch the 10-minute video. I'll release it eventually, but I need to test the waters because it's a doozy, and I think it explains exactly what's going on. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I'm sure that they all just are doppelgangers.
So we just gonna ignore the people ripping off their faces on TikTok and they have an alien face under their actual face. Just gonna ignore that. Like, we're gonna act like we not seeing those videos. And the thing that's blowing my mind is that under it says AI generated. Bro, we live in a world where we genuinely do not know if this is real or fake. And I wonder if life is just one big Black Mirror episode. Because a part of me is looking at it and like, I can't see the AI in it. That's how real AI has gotten. But intuitively, it doesn't make sense for it to be real. So in your mind, you're like, nah, that's not real. But then you got everybody else saying, no, I actually believe that that's real. They're just trying to play in our faces. So what if AI was created, which I believe it was, to deceive us, to make us not understand what's real or what's fake? I feel like that's the world we live in right now. It's like this big mind game for everybody to be deceived. The whole goal of the enemy is to deceive us, to create deception, mass deception. And so this could be very real. And the things that they told us that were AI could be very real. And the things that they told us wasn't AI could be AI. You get what I'm saying? Like we are in uncharted territory now with AI being a thing. I hate it so much.
So I've speculated that Aleister Crowley age reduced and became Joe Rogan, and that Dale Earnhardt age reduced and became Morgan Wallen, even down to the exact same scar on their face. Oh, and speaking of scars on their face, Aleister Crowley and Joe Rogan just happened to have the exact same hole right in the exact same spot, right on the good old left cheek. I also speculated that Larry Hagman from I Dream of Jeannie age-reduced to Tom Brady. And Andre the Giant to this Russian boxer. Look at those teeth. And a host of other ones like George Jones, age-reducing to Jim Carrey. But I speculated on these. I wanted a way to prove it to myself. So I thought, how could I do that? Who do I know, or how could I prove it? And it came to me. Because Vince Vaughn graduated from my high school. He was 10 years older than me, but my cousin went to school with him. My friend's sister was in class with him. I know Vince Vaughn was young at Lake Forest High School. So if I could find who he was before he age-reduced to Vince Vaughn, well, then that was proof to me. So I started my hunt. And at the same time, I also put out feelers to my amazing subscribers who are amazing vampire hunters. And well, one of them got back to me pretty quick. My keen-eyed subscriber and buddy Adam had been exploring Judy Garland, and well, he just happened to notice that one of Judy Garland's husbands bared a certain resemblance to Vince Vaughn. Funny how Judy Garland, a.k.a. Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, can look so much like Millie Bobby Brown, a.k.a. Eleven, and Winona Ryder and Natalie Portman all at the same time. Oh, and those are both supposed to be Judy Garland, but those chins are different. More on this in the future. But back to Judy's husband. Judy and her husband, Sid Luft, and well, I saw it right away. And I also got a little nod from the big guy upstairs because he died right on my birthday. Imagine that, a synchronicity telling me I'm on the right track. And do you see it? I mean, I don't know about you, but they could be the same person. I mean, look how they hold their lips and their nose and even their little ball sacks under their eyeballs. I mean, the hairline, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the lips, even the little chin. You can see it's the chin scar, the chin line in the exact same spot. The teeth in the exact same spot. The nose is a little off because of the angle, but look, even the bags under the eyes, the exact same. The hairline, the exact same. But do you think we can find something a little more substantial that might point us in the right direction? Like maybe that they're not just doppelgangers, but maybe they're the same entity that can reduce their age, as crazy as that sounds. Well, I noticed some dots here, right under their eyes, in the exact same place. I want to imagine that. Vince has a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and if you've seen my videos, you know that I've talked about stars referenced as fallen angels in the Book of Enoch. I want to remember how I said Vince, before he aged, reduced, was married to Judy Garland. Do you know what Vince's first big movie is? The first one he really starred in? I mean, he was in Rudy as a side part, but his starring role, well, it was in Swingers. And you want to see an interesting line in the movie Swingers, his first movie ever that he was a star in?
I don't know, man. She didn't really do it for me. What'd you think of that Dorothy girl? The whole Judy Garland thing kind of turned me on. Does that make me some kind of fag? Oh, baby, your money.
Your money. Your money, baby, because you can age reduce and do it all over again in the next life. Have you ever seen an exact match? I mean, watch the teeth and the eyes. Now, I want to show you something else. This is Vince's senior year photo at Lake Forest High School, where again I said I graduated from. So yes, I'm not saying I know how, but they can go from this to this, back to that. And just another amazing synchronicity is that Lake Forest High School in 2005 had their first ever Wall of Fame inductees. And well, I was working there that year and just happened to catch Vince be inducted and watched his speech. Little did I know that I may have actually been watching someone hundreds, maybe even thousands of years old giving that speech. Vince, baby, your money. And if you ever want to talk about it, look me up. It could just be two Lake Forest scouts reminiscing about the good old days, even though your good old days might be a lot older than mine. Oh, and sorry about the ball sacks on your eye comment. I kid, kind of like you. But of course, all this is for entertainment purposes. I'm sure their teeth and lips and chin scar and eye bags and hairline and face and him talking about Judy Garland in his first ever movie. It's all just coincidence, people, and them having the same marks under their eyes. Total coincidence. Things happen like that because there's so many people in the world. Eventually, there's going to be someone that has the exact same facial markings and yada, yada, yada. Entertainment only, people.
Okay, so now you're telling me that Japan has successfully attached living human skin to an artificial intelligent robot. Now, what in the Terminator 2 is going on in the world? Yeah, so Japan is at it again, and a scientist has successfully created a human-like face out of human DNA and has successfully attached living human skin to it. And you want to know the first thing it did when it was brought to life? It smiled. It looked up with its creepy little eyes and it smiled at the scientist. Now, I don't even know, Japan, not only are they doing the human-animal hybrid testing to produce organs, as well as some other human and animal splicing technology, but now they're creating robots with living skin. And the goal is, allegedly, to help with makeup testing, product testing, and drug testing. But a part of me thinks there might be a little bit something a little more kinky involved. That's just my opinion. But what do you think? Have you heard this? They want to make robots more human-like. And it looks like they're now getting skin. So what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Do you think this is a bad idea? Because I've seen these movies, and usually the human robots end up turning on the humanity. So what do you think? Drop it in the comments. Like always, for entertainment, learning, conversation purposes only. So let me know.